Well, this is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and of course, this is coffee time with Guns, Knives, and Watches, and I'm sitting on my stool. This is my home coffee setup. I have, a few different appliances that I have in my home that you probably will not have in yours. And I'll give you kind of a rundown of why and this, there, the other. And anybody that knows me knows that I deal a lot in the restaurant industry, this, there, the other, da, 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 da. So here we go. We have a Mazer Mini grinder and a Mazer Major grinder. Now the difference between these two, the Mini and the Major, is the Major can be actually used in a commercial coffee shop. It has a large enough grind wheel that it will dispense a dose in around 5 seconds. Now, am I saying exactly 5 seconds? No. Because it greatly is just based on your grind. It's the bean, it's the grind, it's the da-da-da-da-da, this, that, or the other. Usually, mine's a hair under 5 seconds. To give you a comparison, this Major Mini actually, believe it or not, takes a tremendous amount longer. It's like, let's say 20 seconds or, let me go on. Now, these are both calibrated dosing setups. As you can see, I use the Major a lot more. This one's got 912 shots that it's dispensed, and this one only has 314. The reason that is because a lot of times when I'm using this Mini, I'll just go to the center button, which is actually I just eyeball it, okay? But you can calibrate these two. When you push down the button, it will dispense for a certain amount of time, and of course you do your grind on the wheel, and they both really work great. This Major Mini cannot exist in a commercial shop that is trying to make money brewing coffee. That 15 seconds is a lifetime when you're trying to run a commercial business. Now, these Mazers take a little bit of break-in. I mean, am I going to sit there and say, yeah, it's going to take you 10 pounds of coffee to break them in? No. It takes quite a bit more than that to get them to where they are really dosing consistently to a 1/10 of a gram. And have I got it within 1/10 of a gram? No. But they'll do it close enough to where it really doesn't matter. It doesn't throw the La Marzocco into a fit. These things are easy to calibrate. You just hold down on the menu button until your digital readout starts flashing, and then you pick which dose, and as you can see right now, I'm dosing that. I'm grinding for 4.85 seconds. And you can adjust it to the nearest 1/2 of a 100th of a second. You can go positive or negative on that, increase it, decrease it, and then just hold your menu button, and that goes into a store mode. Now, both of these machines have really had about the same amount of coffee run through them, so they're very consistent. This one's probably a little more consistent, had more coffee, but that's just the way she goes. Now, this MCAP, I think that's MCAP Tamper. I'm going to show you the back of it because I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly or saying it correctly. This is the great equalizer in a shop. In a commercial setting where you've got the same person dosing shots, this, that, or the other, you have a consistent, or you're turning your employees over all the time at different jobs so that they have those skill levels. This is not important. What is important is in this household when you have a lot of different people, potentially brewing coffee or brewing espresso. I say that because we do both. We do a pour over method, and that's what this grinder is set up for, and then we do espresso, which this one's set up for. And those are totally different grinds. And then I've probably shown in this video, in other videos, but we don't use the Chemex. This is the wooden Chemex without a handle. Volumetric size there, and then we've got the classic pour over, and this is the plastic version because it's a Haro, because we take it camping. Haro 02 or something like that. Really works well. I use the Haro more than anything, believe it or not, just because I can pour it into a decanter that's insulated, and that just keeps our coffee longer. But this is the great equalizer. It tamps to about 30 pounds, maybe a hair more, and anybody can use it. You know, if you're 200 pounds or 100 pounds or 50 pounds, it's just, you know, it's easy as pulling the lever down until it pops and don't go anymore. Of course, our classic knock box. This is a large one because I do quite a bit of brewing here. This is basically a test kitchen, and then we've got our cafe latte corner pad. I know why have that. I do use it a lot, and we also hand tamp. This is not a flat, this is a curved tamper. That came with something. It might have come with the GS3. It's really good tamper though. I like the big end on it, especially for smaller people that don't have as firm a hand. That distributed load is a lot better there. Of course, I've got chocolate and I've got caramel, and these are sauces. And then we've got all of the other type of syrups also. This is hazelnut, with pumps on them. Same as the way you would have in the coffee shop, because we try to run our test kitchen the way we would run actually our real kitchen. This is a Haro scale. It's a timer and a scale. If you're doing pour over coffee, it'll time you. And of course, we use the Haro 1.1 liter, 1.2 liter pitcher for doing pour overs, because it gives you a lot of control of your pour. This, there, the other. Of course, it has a lid for it. It's not on it. Whoop-dee-doo. I've been here a minute and things have gotten a little disheveled. Anyway, but our Marzocco. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to really quickly, and this is probably longer than most of you all want to watch a video. And of course, we keep our thingamabob. that there thing that holds that puck, man. I'm not going to go into all the technical terms of what all this stuff is. But anyway, we've got our portafilter here, and we've got a two spout on it. Of course, I've got a blind port. I've got a blind. It's blind. I do have a blind one, but that is for cleaning the machine. I've got some open bottom ones too. This, there, the other, When you are breaking these machines in, they will give you the burrs in, which you need to change your burrs every, I don't know, 10,000 pounds or something like that. That's what they recommend. But you got to keep this portafilter, man, up on that there device, because it keeps it warm so it doesn't shock the actual coffee when it's being brewed. So we're going to hit our button, boys. Now, that dumped out, I would say probably about 17.5 grams. Now, I'm going to dump it out. We'll go through the process again. I'll take you the way I normally do it when I'm not on film. When I'm not on film, I will, of course, weigh my portafilter. It's 564 grams. We're going to tear the scale, double check it, come in here, hit the button. It's going to dispense 2 shots. This is an 18-gram basket. Okay, I knock it on the box, just level it out, come down, mechanically tamps it, gives a good puck, okay? Now, weigh it again, 17 grams, okay? We're a gram light, which means we need to go up on our time here, but I'll do that off camera. So we're going to come here. Now that's going to affect, what is that going to affect? 17 grams as opposed to 18 grams. That's going to affect our brew time. Now, anyway. So we've got 17 grams in our portafilter. We're going to basically come up with our scale, pour a cup under there, we're going to tare it. Normally what I would do is I would hit the button, I'd pull the scale up, I would tare it, all in the amount of time normally that it would take to get your first drops out of it. Now, the reason this was a little light is because I actually tightened the grind. I went finer with the grind, okay, which tightened up our puck. So now I'm going to have to increase the amount of time. Now, right now we are at 30 seconds. That's a little long. As I said, I'm talking to the damn camera, but it's not bad, okay? In that 30 seconds, we got 40.5 grams of fluid. That's a little much, but when we were at that, I use a 2-to-1 brew ratio. 2 grams of water to every 1 gram of coffee. So as you can sit there and see, we missed it a little bit, but you know, it's not bad for the camera, okay? So we're at 40.5 grams, so we overshot it a little bit, and basically what we have is a shot and a half of actual volume with 18 grams of coffee. And it probably doesn't matter, but there's actually the crema on it. Crema is basically an oily substance that coats your tongue, and what that does is it kind of changes some of the flavor profiles. Your more acidic coffees really don't have, you know, much of a crema. Really, if you're going to get into roasting coffee and you're doing like a multi-source roast, and the reason you would do a multi-source as opposed to a single source is consistency. Your coffee would taste the same one part of the year than it was the other, and you try to keep it within a certain parameter so that you can sell or market a product, okay? Single source coffees are for general characteristics, okay? When you want a specific characteristic in a coffee, you can go more of a single source. But for consistency, year after year after year, and through, you know, it's much easier using about, let's say 3 to possibly 4 different types of beans in your actual blend for your coffee. And that gives you the ability to change the attributes of the coffee. Now, if you're using a darker roast, typically what I found is darker roast coffees tend to like lower temperatures and tighter tolerances, like that 40 grams to 17 grams was a little much, but for a lighter roast coffee, that might be ideal. You might go, you know, even 1 to 3. But for this particular coffee, it likes a 1 to 2, and I've got everything set up for a 1 to 2. But that's just my general overview of coffee, and I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I have people that work for me that are, and they are the people that I learn from. This is Guns, Knives, Watches, and this is my test kitchen for coffee, and have a good one.